Oh, hello and welcome to another live stream. And today will be mostly pew pewing. And we'll see how it goes. I took a mission. I kind of regret taking it now. I should have stuck to my compromised nav beacon. But anywho, we are where we are. So let's carry on shooting some ships. Just to complete the mission. Almost tempted just to abandon it, but every little bit helps, I guess. Because I'm not getting the combat rank up as quickly as I would like doing this. Yeah, that might well be the mission location. And it is. So let's go and do it. Oh, I'm the planet. Looking at a totally different screen. Right. Let's just set up the auto cruise. Just not enough Super Cruise assist messages, is there really? Why have one when you can have three? Right, what was I going to do? I was going to do something. Oh, that's it, yeah. I haven't brought up my chat. That's better. $2 seriously, come on. So yeah, it's just a bit of a pew pew. A bit of chat. And maybe talk about the latest update, if you like. Wedding barge. I've never ever done the wedding barge thing. Each one that's dropping here, it's not the most challenging of Pew Pew, I'm afraid. Just doing the grind. 45% dangerous. Just chilling tonight, really. So Settling in for a bit of Pew Pew. So I'm guessing we're going to have some eagles and such. And there's an eagle, which is kind of ridiculous, really. Another one. As a Ferdinand, he's probably friendly. Who's that? Oh, he's all wanted as well. Let's have a python in the mix. Right. Let's sort this eagle out first. So yeah, unfortunately these targets aren't very dangerous, which means it's going to be a bit of a, not a waste of time, but I should have stuck with a compromised nav beacon. They were much tougher enemies there. That'll be the end of the python. Right about now. He should be wanted. Is it master? It's really not helping my ranking much. I'm guessing the guy next to him is also wanted. Come on. Careful with my aim. Alright, let's go for the first eagle. And the other one. I think that's all the bad guys already. It'd be nice if the Anaconda was a bad guy, but I don't think he will be. There you go. Let's just check the other one. That's your lot. On to the next one. Slow progress. Should have another signal source now. 3,000 light seconds again. Heesh. Kebab. Just seeing who's about. Time for the blue zone. So doing two things at once there. Right. Let's just find the eagles and give them a parting shot. Oh dear, we're under attack. What was that glitch? Oh, I haven't pointed out yet that I am using a new build, which is rather glitchy in a number of ways. So if anything weird happens, it's just lack of quality control. Well, not lack, non-existent. Which is a shame, really. Not all of the core game's been broken though. It's not all doom and gloom. A lot of the original stuff still works. I understand that mining is definitely not something that you want to do right now. This is just as well because I'm trying to do my triple elite at the moment. And we'll worry about funds for a fleet carrier once I've done that. By which time hopefully mining will be fixed. That's it then. I'm guessing the anacondas are going to be both clean. Yep. Weapons in. So yeah, luckily I've not seen any reports that Pew Pew's been broken, and I've not experienced anything. I've had a weird few targeting glitches, but apart from that, Pew Pew seems to be okay still. like I say, I don't think mining is something that you really want to dabble with at the moment until they patch the problems. So our progress to becoming triple elite. I really wish I didn't take this mission. Ships aren't that highly ranked, and I just saw materials that I wanted. I should have just carried on with a compromised nav beacon, really. So that's what I'll be doing after I've learned this very valuable lesson. Don't take combat missions when you want to get to elite. You just want to find a compromised nav beacon and stick with that. But we'll thrash this one out. How are we doing? 31. Nearly halfway. It's the travel time between each signal source, and it's just Eagles, and well, the biggest ship so far has been either a dropship or a Python. Obviously Eagles get minced in seconds, but yeah, no, I much preferred the compromised Mav beacon for ranking up on combat. Just continual targets, quite a few of those being elite as well, which really helps. And it does mean that I can keep my promise to the Thargoids that I wouldn't shoot them. So obviously the quickest way to rank up is to do the Thargoid scouts. But I'm going to maintain my position regarding the Thargoids and not shoot them. Don't mind if I'm wrong. It's a drop ship. I think what we'll do is just upset a few before the others go off. So he's clearly upset now. Anacondas, right, won't be hostile. Dropship is who is shooting at me right now. I'm not too worried about that. Oh, I just know that the Eagles are always wanted. So I shouldn't really shoot before I've checked, though, to be honest. So let's try and upset quite a few of them before they disappear, and then we'll take them out once they're all. I can't even. No, he's in range now. Yeah, there we go. Tagged him. Any more Eagles around? I think that's it. He possibly in a Viper could also be a naughty boy. Let's see if we can grab him as well. I want this mission that I've took to be over as soon as possible. Right, let's start with the dropship. Here we go. Right. So I'm getting about 4 hostile targets per signal source. It's all a bit slow going, really, but we'll cope with it. Let me just deal with this drop ship, and I will address the comments in chat. I see you there, Macross. Nice to have you along as always. Always appreciate the company. Right, just quickly dispatch these Eagles as well, because it looks like assistance has arrived to spoil my day. So let's just get these dispatched quickly. I don't want them taking my kills. Leave my kills alone, please. They're getting in the way now, so I'll probably get a bit of blue on blue if they're not careful and not stay away. think the Eagles died. I believe, yep. I think that's it. Alright, let's have a look at the comments. Since you're in Helgardu, anyway, see if there's missions for the Bean Night Pirates. Yeah, I know, I was, and I couldn't find any, so I thought, no, I'll just take this one. And I kind of regret it a bit because there's not many elite pilots. Most of them are Eagles, and there's like a 3,000 light second trip between each beacon, which is it's a bit painful, to be honest. But the good thing is, the update hasn't broken Pew Pew, from what I can tell. It's probably going to be famous last words now. That wasn't the selection I wanted. So yeah, I've not had any crashes yet doing Pew Pew. So Pew Pew is safe. I know one thing that's not safe, and that's mining. Avoid mining right now until they put out a patch, if I was you. Hey Cal, evening, how you doing? Nice to have you along. And again, I see you both are on YouTube. I guess for whatever reason Twitch doesn't work for you, but I know that Twitch has a much lesser delay. So if you're on YouTube and you mention something in chat, there is, I think, probably up to 30-second delay, which is rather frustrating. But Twitch is probably around about 4 or 5 seconds. So just so you know, if you want a more instant reaction to something you might put in text, then I can react a lot quicker using Twitch, because obviously the YouTube delay. But it's great to have you both along. And like I say, we're just doing our rank up to elite still. I'm on 45% at the moment. It seems like I don't play in between streams, by the way, at the moment. So if you're wondering what have I been doing, why have I not ranked up, is because I've basically not been playing. But I do need to get elite soon. And once the patch is out for the mining after this latest update, then I'm not paying attention again. Then I'll obviously probably go back to mining just to earn the credits, or I could sell all of the engineered modules that I built just to tweak this Conda. I think I spent about, it's got to be about $1 billion in why can I never remember the name? I can never remember the name. Why is that? I'll tell you what it is. I invested all my money in power distributors. Yes. I've got about $1 billion's worth. Why have I just got into the galaxy map? That was weird. Right, let's find the looks like we got, it's all Vipers this time. Okay. See, look, Master, that's not really going to help my rank. So let's just tag that one, and I'll come back to the chat in a sec. What we got there? A Python. He probably wanted as well. Tag him. That other wanted. There we go. And that Anaconda definitely won't be hostile. Right, let's work through these quickly. Let's start with the Python. I know I should start with the fighters, but there's no challenge here at all at the moment. I want to get back to the compromised nav beacon, which was far more interesting and fun. Just looking at the old chat there. So yeah, Macross mission seems to work. Yeah, well, this mission was pre-patch, or update, should I say, or I don't know what you want to call it really. Before they broke the game, I already had this mission, so obviously missions I think is still good, so I can confirm that essentially. But yes, the servers are flaky. But then, to be fair, they're always flaky after an update. There's a big influx of players want to check out the new features, and they just need to keep propagating the servers till they can cope. Let's get this other guy, he's on my arse first. The other one seems to be oblivious to the fact that I shot at him and he's doing other stuff. And again, we've got the support ships coming in, which is a bit of a pain, but... And I know I can turn it off, but to be honest, I just want to dispatch and get rid of this mission as quickly as possible. Which is why I'm using multi-cannons while he's still got shields up. I want it to be over. Yeah, frame shift drive all you like, mate. You're not going anywhere. Right, is that everyone? Condor. Oh, that's got to be from one of the Condors, I guess. It's not going to be wanted. Yeah. Yep. That's it for this one. What else we got in here then? So, Macross and of course bugs galore. Oh, there is a lot of bugs. There is definitely a lot of bugs. Really bizarre ones. There's a lot around mining. Oh, basically, without going into too much detail, I'm a product manager for software myself, and so obviously I get involved in all the quality control and all that good stuff. And the reason why the game is probably more bug ridden than normal is that there's obviously a skeleton team working on it, and they've implemented a new system which is called ARCs, which works off of the activities you do in the game. But the problem is that the way that they've implemented it is that it doesn't handle problems properly. And there is a way that you could do it so that it didn't do that, you know. But whenever you do an activity in the game, it's linked to ARCs. And that's how you count it up. And it's just a really poor piece of integration, which hasn't been quality checked at all. Which is why when you're doing certain activities in the game, it crashes out with errors. And I really don't understand the error messages. They're not really helpful. I mean, they're probably helpful to the developers, but when you're a player and you get something saying, you know, cracking open a Void Opal asteroid and it says error Blackadder, it's like, is this some sort of developer joke? Because that's what developers do, you know. You put silly messages in this in code sometimes, but that's poor error handling or intentional. One of the two. I don't know. It's not a user friendly message, whichever way you look at it. But maybe it's intentional. But to the end user, it doesn't make any sense. You know. Blackadder. Did like that actually when it was going about. But it's a strange error message to have for an end user. So, Cal, you're going to try to Twitch next time. You're in Frankfurt. Leeching off the hotel Wi-Fi. Wow, that's going to be... I mean, what sort of speed are you getting there? I've never had a good experience with hotel Wi-Fi. Especially for streaming or downloading, you know, YouTube, Twitch. You need a bit of chunky bandwidth for that. And hotels are notoriously notorious for not providing you much bandwidth. unless you pay through the nose. And then the Wi-Fi router needs resetting anyway. Then you have to go out of your hotel room and find the router and reset it and switch it on and off. You find them on the walls in the corridors, don't you? Anyway, immersion. Right, let's get him aimed at. I mean, I could talk about. I mean, obviously, I say obviously. I don't know if you know. I'm a product manager for software, and so obviously I work with developers all the time. There's loads of stuff I could tell you. There really is, but I can't due to the industry I work in. So I know how it works for sure. And my job is to make sure whatever the developers do doesn't go out looking shoddy. Well, part of my job anyway. So which is why I always get a little bit frustrated when obviously working in the software industry and you see this latest update and you think, seriously, I'm sometimes lost for words. It's like, who would actually approve this release? The ARC's integration is awful. I'm being polite as well. And the method that they've used is shocking, and I hope they change that for the 2020 release, because right now, the way that ARCS has been implemented, it's going to keep breaking the game in various areas. And it'll be a nightmare to maintain as well, due to the way that they've done it. I can't say any more than that, and I don't want to dwell on it, but yeah. They need to look at the way that they've implemented it again before too soon. It may well be a temporary measure. I don't know. As you're not in the building, seeing what developers are doing, it's hard to call. But this is either a temporary implementation of ARCS or, bit of sticky plaster just to see how it works. Or someone needs to be fired if it's meant to be like the proper, full-on, this is how ARCS is going to work in the future type thing. But the lack of quality control in testing. Anyway, let's not dwell on that. Across, I knew a dev who wrote, "Yo, shitface" on his own internal error messages. Guess what happened? Well, normally, in my experience of developers, when they do stuff like that, they've already left the organisation by the time you discover it. And I've got a lot of experience. I won't tell you how many years, but it's a lot. Because that would give away my age. But yeah, I see that a lot, but normally, in my experience, when that sort of stuff's discovered, they've already left the company. And quite often for good reason as well, because I've got to be fair, developers get a raw deal quite often. And I always have their back. I think that's all the cannon fodder gone. I guarantee that, and if you're wondering why I just slipped past the Anaconda, he definitely won't be hostile or wanted. So yeah, in my experience, when developers drop those bombs, they've normally either left or just working out their notice when you discover that stuff. And 95% of the time you hopefully catch that before it goes out as a release. Although there was a time last year when something went out that I was impossible to catch without users using the system in anger, and that was rather amusing and very clever programming as well. And I can't disclose any more than that because I can't. But yeah, so even someone as experienced as me as a manager there's always new edge cases that you'll miss, and that's where users come in and highlight them, and then if you're a good manager, you fix them bloody pronto. And a major one that I got fixed in 3 days, and in my industry that's blinding. But yeah, I'm talking too much about all programming and developer stuff, and that's probably boring you to death. But it's what I know. So Kel, you're getting 4 megabytes per second. That's not too bad, I suppose, for a hotel. Yeah, Macross, yeah, pretty much. It looks like they've just... The thing is, again, see, it frustrates me because I want to tell them how to do it, but then I feel like, no, you should really pay me to do, I'd happily do consultancy for FDev. But do you know what? I really don't think they care at the moment. They probably scoff and go, yeah, whatever, we're not bothered. We know that we could do it properly, but we just can't be bothered. I think that's where they're at the moment, because they're focusing on the 2020 release. That's where all the key clever people are, I think. And I think, what we're playing now, this cut of code, I'm expecting a new cut of code, brand new. Oh. Oh, that's funny. The game's just crashed. Randomly. I was just in Super Cruise. Oh, how ironic is that? It just randomly dropped out. I'm just firing it back up again. It's no biggie. Excuse the blank screen. But yeah, we'll be back up in a second. Wow. There's evidence right there, in it, right in your face, as you've just witnessed. Hilarious. Can't make this stuff up. So, anyway. Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, in terms of the arcs, yeah, like I say, it frustrates me. And just looking around at the moment reminds me of another bug that's prevalent at the moment. When you're docked at a station, sometimes you end up if you're in a Corvette, you end up in your crotch, looking out of your crotch, and you can't actually see anything. I don't know how they managed to implement that bug. I really don't. But anyway, yeah, lots of issues. But yeah, it frustrates me. I'd love to say, this is what you should have done. But there's two things that I think are going on. The first thing is, I don't think they're really bothered. They are working on a new set of code for the next release. The main release, that is in 2020, as far as I believe, and from what I can ascertain from what's going on. So this is old code that we're on now. They're on a new piece of code. I'm pretty confident it's a new piece of code, and that's why there's so many people working on it, because they're changing the engine slightly, which will work with all the new next generation consoles that will be out in 2020. So that'll be the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, I don't know, whatever they're going to call it. The next gen consoles, there's going to be a heavy emphasis on ray tracing. Obviously PC owners won't really be affected that much. With a fairly decent graphics card, you'll be geared up for all the ray tracing goodies. But I believe it will be a new cut of code. So what we're on now is something just to keep us by until the big release in 2020, whatever that brings. And if leaks are to be believed, it will definitely be space legs. And it won't be atmospheric landings initially. But that's just, rumours, I guess. Let's just check that one. Hopefully this is my next mission source. So yeah, that's what I believe what's going on. So this old code that they're not really gonna, because you think about it. Again, I've got my developer manager head on. If you think about it, one thing you don't do in software development, yeah, is work on two similar pieces of code in parallel. All right, and if this is getting boring for you, just shout and say shut up, nutter. But one thing you don't do is do a certain code stream in parallel. Yeah. So as we know, am I giving too much away? I don't know. As we know, that there's two, I'll call it teams, of developers and staff working on two different versions of Elite Dangerous at the moment. We've got the A team, which is working on keeping the lights on in this cut of code that we're on right now. And I don't know how many's in that team. I wouldn't be surprised if it's only one or two developers. I really wouldn't be surprised if I'd be surprised if it's more than two developers. And this is just keeping the lights on for this particular code stream. Everyone else is working on a new code stream. And what we're playing on now, I won't say it's going in the bin, but when the new release comes out, pretty much most of everything we're playing on will be redundant because they're working on a new code stream. And they may well be using a different engine. I don't know this. It's just my gut feeling and my experience coming into play there. And that's why we're getting so many bugs, and that's why there's not any quality control or anything. There's no betas. There's definitely no resources for betas. Betas are resource intensive, and yes, you might say, yeah, but it's the players doing the beta, but obviously there's got to be people at the other end dealing with that beta, and there's definitely no resource available for that, so there's no betas. And it just everything screams to me that, you know, we're keeping the lights on here. There's a couple of throw us a bone here and there, test out some stuff such as arcs, which they have done. Okay, so they haven't bothered implementing it properly, but arcs is in the game now and they can just use us as a test bed. So yeah, whereas the B team, let's quickly mention the comments quickly. So that, yeah, so Macross, the Furious demanded an apology for the project manager and he had to give it. Oh, good. Then the project manager called back to the home office. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not the developers that are responsible. When I say the developers, I mean the people sat there coding. They are not responsible for what comes out at the other end, believe it or not. The person that's responsible for what the customer receives is the managers. And there should be things in place to make sure that what the developers develop is fit for purpose for customers. And if it isn't, it's not the developers that get kicked in the ass. Oh no. It's the people that said, yeah, that's good enough for customers. Everyone makes mistakes. Developers can make mistakes in code, use bad practice, not tidy up on error messages and error handling. That's all easily dealt with. It's when it goes out the door, the buck stops with the management and quality control. Macross. So yeah, I feel that FD is piling more bad code on top of existing code base. Yeah, well, like I say, this is an old code stream we're on now. I don't believe that they will be investing too much in this old code. So they will be just basically putting sticky plasters on, and not investing too much in it at all, because at the end of the day, a lot of it will be like throwaway code, because it won't be reused in the next release, the proper next release, the 2020, whatever that's going to be. May end up being 2021, who knows. So yeah, it's kind of redundant code really, so they're not going to put too much effort into it because it's not going to be exercised in the future. It's not going to be used in the future. So yeah, I would say they're just playing around with what the old code is, and then they'll pass on the feedback to the developers working on the B developers, the B team, to say this is what does and doesn't work, and that's where the effort will go. One would hope. I truly believe that the 2020 release will have been quality controlled, and properly managed. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if there's a manager assigned to this code now. It doesn't feel like it. Not in any serious capacity, anyway. I don't know if they've just got complacent and it's like, oh, people will carry on playing anyway, regardless. We've got, and to be fair, that's probably, a fair comment, really. I mean, at the end of the day, they've got a product they know people like playing. I mean, I can't say a bad word about what the game concept is. I've always enjoyed Elite, and I enjoy this Elite. There's loads of things that need doing. Obviously, I think everyone thinks back to, I think it was Frontier, which was the next version of Elite, where you could land on planets, atmospheric planets. I'm still waiting for the military lasers, and everyone's waiting for that to come around, because Frontier was, I enjoyed it a lot. Of course, it was always been solo play, and I'm hoping that we get our Panther Clipper as well. Kind of waffling a little bit, but at the moment I think that they're just trying to do too many things at once. Obviously, atmospheric planets is a massive thing, but we've seen that they have the skills to do atmospheric planets because of the other games in the franchise. But it's trying to bring it all together. Hey, Carol, you're logging off. Okay, buddy, I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you very much for popping along. Yeah, and see you soon, mate. As far as quality control, yeah, macros. Quality control is not an FD strength. Not in this code. I'll agree with that. I'm not even sure there is any at the moment. Like I say, I do believe that, like when you upgrade your car, but you can't be bothered to sell your old one. I think that's where we're at. You got your old car there. It was a great car. You love it, and it had the four wheels, it had the steering wheel, and everyone likes driving cars and it's great, but it's a bit tired, and you've got this great idea for a new car, and you go and buy that car, but you don't want to, you're passionate about the old car a little bit maybe, and you just leave it on the drive. And I think that's the code we're on. It's the old car on the drive, and there's, you spend maybe 10-15 minutes working on that one, but all of your attention really is on the new car. And that's what Frontier Developments are doing. They're working on the new car, and the new car is important. The old car is going to sit there, and people will put up with that for a while, but wait till they see the new car in 2020. I think is pretty much where they're at. So yeah, I honestly don't think there is any quality control on this code now. I think it's, obviously developers will try and check what their code works, but they're not checking it in terms of context, and that's why quality control comes in, because you have to whack everything together and have your scripts, and whereas if A equals B, or 1 + 2 = 3, then I've checked my code, that works. But it's a bigger picture, of course, when it comes to putting all that together, and that's why Arcs is really broken, because it touches so many points in the game, and it's not been properly tested all together, is why we've got so many problems at the moment. So obviously the player base will report those bugs, and they'll look at them when they get a chance. But again, like I said, they're not really too bothered though, because this code isn't going to be the go forward code. They're already working on a different code. They've learned all their lessons. I tell you what would be nice, actually, thinking about it, if they change the network and move away from peer-to-peer, which they may well do. I mean, they've had a lot of complaints about it. Who knows? Yeah. I mean, obviously, if they do that, they're gonna. Wow, that just. I've not even really thought about it, but maybe all this revenue generation is to ramp up the servers so that they can move away from peer-to-peer. That would be a good thing. That would be a really good thing. Don't rely on the clients to do the work. But of course, it involves, to do that, you need to invest in servers. I mean, if they were honestly, truly doing that, or thinking about doing that, then take my money. Yeah, I'll go to the store and buy some stuff to fund getting away from peer-to-peer. And of course, it would also solve their cheating problems. We do have one left. Where is he? There he is. So yeah, maybe that's the plan. I wish they would disclose more information though, because I'd be a lot more understanding, forgiving if that's what they were doing. Sorry about the state of the game at the moment, guys, but don't worry. We're working on new code, and also we've introduced Arcs to, help fund the new servers that are coming out, which will move us away from relying on clients for network activity and all that stuff. I'd be like, okay, that's cool, I can't wait. Oh, and I'll buy some stuff from the store just to support that decision. Here's hoping, anyway. But that leads to, of course, the shift drive my ass going down. So yeah, I'd get behind that. I truly would. If they 100,000 for a Viper. Oh no, it wasn't a Viper, was it? It was a Vulture. Right, that's all the bad guys in this area. Let's move on to the next. Sorry if I've been waffling on too much about development and FDev. I'll tell you what, my cockpit doesn't half get warm when I'm streaming. And my user interface is reliant on a water-cooled system with a massive radiator, and it does get quite warm. Not the computer, but the room. Alrighty, let's go on to this one. I don't. Oh yeah, Macros. So yeah, a total rewrite of E-Day is very costly. I don't think that'll happen for. No, it won't be a total rewrite, but it'll be a new stream. Where I think that they will have been more efficient in the way that they've done the coding, and of course they have introduced. I say they have introduced, I shouldn't say that. I believe they're introducing ray tracing to the graphics as well. Which is quite intensive for graphic cards, but I believe the new consoles will be able to cope. And in terms of what I think that code stream will be, I mean, obviously that it's going to need a tweak, because if all the rumours are true and they are going to do space legs, it is going to need a tweak to cope with that smoothly. But no, it won't be a rewrite. I don't think it'll be a new graphic engine, or I think they'll stick with it's Cobra, isn't it? They use, I believe. I think they'll stick with that, but it'll be an enhanced version. But what we're playing now, I don't think is going to be enhanced any further. That they'll stick with what we've got here, and then when we upgrade, it'll be I believe it'll be under a new version of the same engine, if that makes sense, which will cope with all of the additional bits and bobs they're doing, such as potentially space legs, potentially ray tracing, potentially volumetric clouds for atmospheric landings when they get to it, and so on. So that's what I think. I'm not saying I'm right. But that's what I think. Cool. Have some of that. If I can reach him. What's going on with the target here? And that got his attention. I have a vulture as well. Yeah, they pay well, the vultures, isn't it? Weapons being a bit weird there. Alrighty, let's do some Pew Pew. Have it. Now I would like to complete this mission during this stream and get back to a compromised nav beacon somewhere soon. Definitely the way to go in terms of ranking up. forget the missions. Just sit here, compromise nav beacon all day, ranking up. And if you're lucky enough to get a mission, of course, that does work with the compromise nav beacon, fair enough. But should see the end of the vulture this time. Right, next up. Let's get in there before the security forces spoil my fun. Why would he drop cargo? Oh no, Macross, I really do think that they are going to be doing ray tracing. I really do. I'm not sure how much it will bring to the game though, to be honest. I mean, it will look pretty, but not, you know, not game-changing pretty. But yeah, no, they're definitely doing ray tracing. And the new consoles that will be out in 2020, that'll be the, let's call it the Xbox 2020 and the PlayStation 4 2020, will be more than capable of handling ray tracing, and of course VR. I mean, I've got a PlayStation Pro, which can kind of cope with VR. Not that I've got it myself yet, and if anyone wants to donate me a PlayStation VR headset, fine, but I think the next generation of consoles will be definitely more than capable of handling that sort of stuff. As far as PC, I mean, obviously graphics cards can be switched out, but I don't think we're going to have any issues with ray tracing on the sort of kit that we're running at the moment. I'm currently running if you're interested, I'm running a GTX 1070, and I don't get any frame drops. And I think if they was to place, you know, and we're still talking about a card that's probably about 300 at the moment, UK pounds. And that's just for the graphics card. So I don't think the console's going to come out with anything too much more punchy than that. Of course, technology advances at a ridiculous pace, as we know. So you never know. But I think my rig would cope with the next version, the 2020 version of Elite Dangerous, without too much trouble. It might cope with it might struggle with VR potentially. With all the additional goodies like ray tracing to cope with. And the same might be for things like a 1080 in 2 years' time, or 1 year's time now, is it? Of course, you have Icarus RI, not familiar. I'll do a Google. Alright. An Oculus Rift. Oh, Icarus, I see what you did there. Right, okay. Is that the just trying to think, which Oculus Rift is that? because I've, believe it or not, I have still yet to do VR. And someone did offer me their Oculus Rift to borrow just so I could try it, but that hasn't happened yet. I am curious to see what that'd be like. Why is Super Cruise playing up? What's going on here? Can you see? I'm not touching anything. Super Cruise is going weird. What's going on here? Oh god, this game's got so many bugs. I'm sure there's an option to... Oh, why? It's manual throttle. So why is it jumping up and down? Just my throttle slightly. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, so it did say I could borrow it, but we haven't got to that point yet, so I've still not done VR. But back to what you're saying though, Macross. Yeah, the 980 isn't quite enough. One of the problems, I don't want to sound like I'm not an expert by any means because I've not experienced it myself, but I knew based on, you know, other people's feedback. The first thing you need for VR is a fast frame rate. If you can't get a fast enough frame rate, then it's going to make you feel ill. Yeah, we're talking probably slightly above 60 frames per second with a VR headset on. If you can't achieve that, it's going to make you feel sick. But yeah, like I say, I've still not. I'm you know, I had an opportunity recently to try it, but I was just like, I was a little bit busy. And the thing is, I don't want to splash out on a VR headset, which isn't cheap by any means, only to discover that I don't like it, because that's an expensive experience right there, isn't it? So yeah, Macross, if you're not using your headset, if I could borrow it, I'd be much appreciated. Just to try it out. That would be good. Right. Okay. That's Anaconda. Waste of time. Oh, dropship will be hostile, no doubt. Well, wanted, should I say. Yeah, that's what I was... Yeah, it's like 90%, 90 frames per second at least for VR. Otherwise, it won't cope with head movements, and that's what makes you feel sick. So, yeah, definitely. Eagle should be wanted as well. So, yeah, I suppose... Oh, you're kidding. What is going on now? Something weird's going on. I don't know what's going on there. My computer's just done something weird. Why has it just changed the screen? God, this game is so buggy. So right, we're still in the game, but there's weird things going on my computer at the same time. Anyway, never mind. Let's kill some bad guys. Oh, welcome to drop by next time I'm in Denmark. Okay. I'm not doing anything tomorrow. I'll pop over. Flight's pretty cheap at the moment. Are you born and bred Danish? Is that from Denmark, or are you working out in Denmark, or I don't know? Interested to know. Be nice to know who watches my boring streams. So anyway, yeah, talking of VR then, so what's the plan? Are you just going to look at upgrading your graphics card so that you can then try it again? Because obviously it is important to make sure that your graphics card can cope with VR. Because if you get less than the required number of frames, then it's definitely going to make you feel ill. That's constant feedback that I've seen. Should never give up on the opportunity of a proto alloy, really. Looking at it. I use these sort of alloys a lot in my exploration builds, so if there's one there, I'll always grab it. Native Dane, awesome. Excellent. Well, I appreciate you listening to my dulcet tones. So are you, I'm interested, Macross, are you still actively playing Elite Dangerous at the moment? Waiting for the next gen after the 2080 RTX. Yeah. That's pretty much good advice for anyone, really, is when you've got a graphics card that does what you need it to do, then hold out until it really can't cope anymore before upgrading. It's false economy to keep trying to keep pace with technology, because technology advances every 3 months, and if you want to keep up with that, it's very expensive. So if you're a multi-millionaire, fair enough, but if you're not, like me, it's been crashed again. It's just frustrating. So that's 2 crashes in one stream so far on this fully tested, fully quality controlled, if there was ever such a phrase, release. So Macross, so basically, does that mean that you're still actively playing Elite, just looking for Raxler? And there's a forum thread that you're vested in. Look at what? Raxler? Yeah. I'm not convinced that Raxler's really properly in the game yet that would be usable, if that makes sense. You know, all the permit locked areas and all that good stuff. And let's face it, if people discovered Raxler now, that would kind of mess a lot of things up, I'm guessing. because the content for Raxler hasn't been done. So I think it's kind of permit locked in a way. Is my thoughts on it. So we need to do a honk because of the game crash. So we've got a Raxler forum thread. Now I would look it up, but my screen was playing up now. It's back now. It's funny enough, my other screen's working after the crash and reboot of the Elite Dangerous. Just have a look. Wow. I'm just looking at the Frontier forums and it's... Well, there's a lot of unhappy bunnies about the release quality. So, let's see if I can find this thread then. I hope it's got Raxler in the title. Yeah, well, there's plenty of threads regarding Raxler actually. Probably a bit of a minefield. You probably have to post a link or message me a link via YouTube or whatever, and I'll have a look at that particular thread in general. But it's nice to say, see that you say 2015. Right. Okay. Something tells me you've been around a long time, Macros. In terms of Elite. I did a honk. I didn't do a scan, did I? I'm multitasking and I'm terrible for that. Let's quickly find the mission. That's what we want. Should have done that half an hour ago. Well, it feels like it anyway. Right. Let's crack on and kill some more guys. Hopefully there's not too many left. I would much rather be in a compromised nav beacon right now, to be honest. How many more have we got to kill? Really? 21. Right, let's try and focus on getting rid of this mission. Quest to find Raxler. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, I already recognise the avatar, I think. And let me just check on the original post. Yes. Ah! Awesome. So I'm guessing, Macros, that you obviously know me from the forums as well then. Elite on the Commodore 64. Yeah, well, mine was Elite on the Acorn Electron. I did actually play it first on a BBC Micro, but it was my friend that had the BBC Micro. He was richer than I was, so he had a BBC Micro. I had an Acorn Electron. But I did enjoy the BBC and the Acorn, because when you were loading software, I believe they were the only ones at the time where you could rewind the cassette tape if it didn't pick up the entire signal. Whereas if you was on something like a Spectrum, you'd get the flashy colour screen for like half an hour, and then it would say try again, and you'd have to start from the beginning. So yeah, error rewind tape is why that's in my signature, because you used to be able to rewind it and carry on where you left off, which meant load times on those at the time were pretty quick. I can't believe I'm saying that. How long did it used to take to load Elite on a cassette tape? Yeah, I don't know. It must have been a good what, 10 minutes, something like that. Did I not choose cruise assist? Oh, I better do it manually now. Getting that bit close. Yeah, those were the days. Wow. And I have to say, the Commodore 64 was an awesome machine. So powerful, especially graphics wise, in its day. Could waffle on forever. Oh, come on, hurry up, make this be over soon. I so want this to be over, this mission. You know, I tried it, but at the end of the day, it's a bit painful. Painfully slow for ranking up. Got another one over here. I don't know what happens in these missions. Can I just shoot anyway? Because I know they're going to be naughty boys. But in my previous experience of combat, if you shot before it said wanted on your scanner, then you was in big trouble. Oh, everything's reloading, come on. So yeah, it sounds like we're from the same era, Macross. Definitely recognise your avatar from the forum. No doubt we've communicated on there many a time over the last, how many years? 5 years? 5 years! Crazy. I'm gonna kill him before I get a chance. I don't think I'm gonna get that kill. Oh, I did. That was lucky. How many's left? Don't want that one. That's a bit of a plod, this, isn't it? So, were you, Macross, was you, a backer? Did you invest? Do I have the autoloader special effect on the main multi-cannons? When you say the main multi-cannons... Oh, sorry, too many screens going at the same time there. Do you mean the ones that are located on the side of my Corvette? Oh, you're not a backer? Alright, okay. I thought you might have been from the get-go. I was. Now, I'd love to go and have a look at this, but I believe it's a bit buggy when you look at engineering stuff at the moment. I don't believe I've got autoloader on anything right now. But I won't go and look because I know it tends to crash the game when you look at modules that are engineered at the moment. And I think they're going to be producing a patch pretty soon to fix all of that stuff. But right now I won't look. But now I'm confident I don't have autoloader. I mean, is that the best effect? Autoloader? You know, there's so many others that also have positive effects. You know, like thermal and all that good stuff. Python should be wanted as well. So tempted before even I scan. Come on, let me get a shot on him so that he actually turns around. Yeah, that'll do. Should have some eagles around somewhere. Okay, no eagles. Right, let's take out the Python first. Sort him out. 3% still, seriously. That's it, fly right in my path. Alright, faster kills. I've definitely got corrosive going on. But I do need to look at finishing off the engineering on my weapons, to be fair. check this guy. I'm sure he'll be clean. Yep. Alrighty. See, when you say it doesn't stack, autoloader doesn't stack, in what way? I mean, I am certainly a newbie when it comes to Pew Pew. I mean, when it comes to trying to rank up for Elite, obviously, the key thing that you want is to be able to dispatch people quickly. And I've seen ship builds that do, like 250 damage. This ship build is nowhere near that. I think I'm on about 170. But then you have to play with different weapons, and I don't have to keep reloading all the time. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think, well, as a backer you could only, well, if you got in from the get-go, I think you could name a station. I can't remember what the tier levels were now. I think the highest tier was £1,000. 1,000 British pounds. And I think with that you could definitely name a station, possibly a planet as well, for that sort of investment, and obviously the lifetime upgrade stuff. And what else did we get? I got a special eagle. I don't even know where it is, but I've got an eagle that I got, which was part of the backer package, and obviously the Cobra Mark IV. But yeah, there's an eagle, and I'm sure there's a Viper as well. Do you know what? I've not even bothered with those ships yet. So yeah, I've got some of that backer related stuff. So the thing is, Macross, if I change my huge pulse laser with a huge multi-cannon, isn't that just another, and I already have one huge multi-cannon, isn't that I'll show you it if it's not out already. I'll show you it now then. So yeah, I've got one huge multi-cannon and one huge pulse. You're saying I want two huge multi-cannons, and these are big bad guys. And then over here we have a multi-cannon on each side. Underneath we have a multi-cannon. If I can remember where it sits. Where does it sit? There it is. It's just a bit dark. Fix that if we turn around maybe. I love the way the ship hits the camera. Oh, actually, I better just make sure we get some bad guys quickly. So you reckon? What's this you've found? Pledge 5,000 or more. Name the secret founder's system. This includes all of the benefits of the 3,000 pledge tier. Wow. Well, I didn't pledge that much. You have 2 huge and 1 small. Okay. Is this on your Corvette, I take it? Do you find they're effective then? 2 huge multi-cannons? How often do you have to reload? I know, questions. Beams on the 3s and 2s, and is that gimbaled? What is going on here? I'm really not paying attention to the screen. I'm doing so many of the things at once. I might just need to bug out and shift on to the next zone, to be honest. Or I could go and reload with ammo. Maybe I should go and do that. Let's go and reload. One turreted long range pulse. Okay. So what's the damage per second on that then? I'm guessing with the multi-cannons it's not shabby. Okie dokie. Gimbals. Yeah, the pulse has got good range. I mean, I'm dispatching ships quite quickly, but I do know that I could increase my damage output without changing my power plan and stuff. Yeah, we're on 98% and everything's switched on. I was even thinking about, because I've got a fuel scoop on it as well, you know, I'm thinking that maybe I could do the old plasma with the mod that uses fuel to power the weapons as opposed to raw power. And ammo, obviously. I don't know why I've done that, because I'm actually meant to be going to the station. Just have a quick look around and get some ammo. Again, not paying attention. It's just that my head's starting to think about food. Could do with a bit of food. You know, space is big. All this space travel makes you hungry. So I may need to just go and grab a snack of some description. So after all this activity, I've gained 2% on my ranking. Shocking. Oh, ARCs. How much ARCs have I earned? That's the more important question, right? I think I can earn a bobblehead after about 4 years. It might be less than that, actually. I think it's about 38 months. And about 17. Bobblehead getting in the way of the text there. Oh, come on. Alrighty. I think I will need to just get a quick nibble. Collect some of that. We've got left outstanding. Boy, oh boy. Restock. Anyone notice where the store is? Is it actually working now? Wow, those preview pictures are a real low resolution. 1,820 arcs for a ship paint job, and you can earn 400 a week. So by my calculations, it'll take about 6 weeks to get that paint job. But it's for free. You can't not free. Now wrong with free. Remote workshop. I think it's multi-cannons. Oh, blimey. Oh, I found another bug. Oh, man. Remote engineering's balked, isn't it? I didn't know it was. Ah, this is depressing. 151.5. Really? Damage per second? That's not that high. Let me quickly look at my build. 162 currently. What's producing the most damage? Pulse laser's doing well, but also I've got a 3C multi-cannon which is putting out very impressive damage for size 3 compared to size 4. It's almost comparable. multi-cannon's putting out, my huge multi-cannon's putting out 31.7 DPS. The pulse laser's doing 31.3 DPS. But then the large 3C is putting out 30.6. That's pretty darn impressive. And that's got overcharged with incendiary. So surely my multi-cannon, if I had something similar, would be pretty cool. $37. Yeah, definitely. So multi-cannons overcharged with incendiary do put out a lot of damage. But of course ship builds are so variable. I think the game has crashed. Oh, that's weird. I can adjust my power in my ship. I'm guessing you can hear that. Do you know what? It's a bit depressing that this game is so broken after. Is there any way I can get out of that screen? It is upsetting that they don't do any quality control. Why am I stuck in remote engineering? Sounds like it's doing something, but it isn't. It's hazard a guess that I'm on. So you have to be careful now because the GUI's not updating and I don't know what buttons I'm pressing. Sounds like it's doing something. Come on, you're making all the right noises. Oh, do you know what? I tried to avoid bugs by doing Pew Pew this stream, and I'm still stuck within bugs. Why is... How can they have broken remote engineering? I can't get out of this screen now. It's not updating. It sounds like it's doing something, but it's not. Okay, I'll tell you what. As it's all frozen at this stage, I think the best thing to do really is just call it there. And what we got? 13 more kills to do. I may well do that off stream just so I can get away from this mission during tomorrow and go from there. URL's not showing. Yeah, the remote workshops bought as well. So I'll call the stream there. So I just want to say, Macross, many thanks for coming along and joining me and being there, basically. and respect on your Triple Elite in Orvis. Was it the third time round? But I'll call it there, and maybe we'll do another stream on Saturday. I'm going to take a break tomorrow, and we'll go from there. And obviously, hopefully a patch will come out soon that will make this experience a little bit more bearable. So, many thanks for popping along, and 07s to you all the way. And anyone else that may watch this stream. And hopefully tomorrow, well not tomorrow, but the day after will be a better experience on the stream. But tomorrow I'm taking a day off and get this mission cleared out of the way. Right, take it easy, fly safe, and keep it shiny side up.